my name is Kayleigh and welcome back to What the Was I Thinking? This is a series where I take a really badly ranked Pokemon for Great League, put together a team with it and try my best to find some wins. Last time out we ran Mightyena, so if you'd like to see that I will put a card up and link it below. This time we are running Kanto Raichu with Brick Break. Thank you very much, I think, to Amy for recommending this guy to me. So as for a team, I've paired him with a very reliable solid core, that is Scrafty and Cresselia. I think my only real chance of getting some good solid matches and wins with this guy would be to put him with a core like this, so fingers crossed. Let's jump in. I meant to mention this before, but I'm an idiot, so I forgot. Community battle submissions are now open. If you'd like to be featured on the channel and have me comment on your battles, there is a Google form down below. It's really simple. All you've got to do is upload your battles to Google Drive and share them with my email address. Put the link to that shared document in the form, as well as some pictures of your Pokemon's moveset. It's all in the form, it'll take you through it step by step. I can't wait to see your battles. Okay, here we go with our battles. So these were filmed before the double water type battles, but as that video is so specific to the Talonflame meta, I wanted to get that up while it would still be at its most useful. So we're picking up a kind of positive lead here. I can win this matchup, good, but I have to use a shield, not so good. So we're going to take the first Hydro Cannon on the chest, which hits for about half of our health. Now we've built all the way up to 2 power-up punches and we're hoping to get a shield here. Sadly we don't, they're happy to just let it through. I don't think a foul play would have quite KO'd from that range and they're already at another move, so that play does make sense. But now of course I've boosted my counter damage. I'm going to throw another power-up punch for a second boost, and then one more counter should take out that Swampert. It won't be able to get to another move. So I've now double boosted and I've got a bit of energy. Unfortunately that is all pretty much pointless because in comes Skarmory. I can throw a double boosted foul play at them. Let's have a look. Yeah, they're shielding. They are not taking that double boosted foul play to the face. We're going to swap in Raichu. All the flying type attacks will be hitting for resisted, and of course all my electric will be hitting for super effective. Now we're going to keep throwing volt switches and we've farmed up to nearly 2 Brick Break. This will hit for neutral of course because super effective against steel, but flying resists. Now even though they let that through, one more volt switch and another Brick Break is going to KO. So I didn't actually need to throw Wild Charge in that sense and debuff myself. Okay, Galvantula is pretty terrible for this team. It's going to resist all 3 of Raichu's moves and it's going to be hitting both of my Pokemon in the back for super effective damage. I wanted to try and go for a Wild Charge there, but sadly the Galvantula beat me to it. I could have perhaps thrown a Brick Break and tried to pull a shield, but if they'd let that through it would have done basically nothing, so I was trying to get to the Wild Charge just in case they let it through. Now I'm going in with Cress because it's the tankier of my 2 remaining Pokemon and of course has far more health. We're going to throw a Grass Knot as it's the slightly less energy of my 2 moves to try and get this last shield away, which we managed to do. Galvantula is quite squishy, even though it's going to be resisting Grass Knot, it would still do decent damage. I desperately try and catch on my Scrafty and fail miserably and have to shield the incoming move on my Cress. But I had that shield, I knew I'd need to use it so it doesn't matter too much. We have now had 2 attack debuffs on us I believe, so whether this Moonblast is going to hit is all down to Cress's attack stat, which, thank you Cress, pulls out the win for me in the end with a neutral Moonblast damage. So, searching for opponent in our second match and we find Rob Peck, wearing the cool Gyarados hat you got if you hit level 40 before Christmas. Sadly I didn't, I only started playing July I think, but I'm level 40 now. Alright, picking up a very positive lead here. Scrafty is going to be hitting that Reggie for super effective damage. I didn't throw as soon as I got to the power-up punch because I was expecting this switch out. Now we're going to come in with Raichu. Now of course I do have Moonblast on the Crest, so that would have been a good play, but this is a Raichu video people. We've got to show Raichu. So we are now going to be throwing a Brick Break. This of course is going to do nothing because it's resisted by a flying type, but I am not willing to be debuffing my attack just yet. So we can now get to a Wild Charge. Let's have a look if they let this through or not. It has got stab as I'm electric too, and it's a strong move, so yeah, it will KO if it hits. My defense is all the way down now, but that is okay because in comes an Azumarill. We're going to throw yet another wild charge. This is almost definitely going to get a shield, which it does, and my defense is now all the way down, so I cannot even get to a Brick Break. Now, of course, Cresselia is going to be even more useful against this Azu than it would have been against the Altaria. I don't throw as I'm expecting another switch, which happens, and in comes Reggie with a move ready. I shield up just in case it's Focus Blast because that will basically one-hit KO me. Now, I had got some loaded energy already on this Scrafty, so all I do now is just spam this Reggie for power-up punches for all I am worth. They can shield if they want, but of course the counter damage is just going to keep getting higher as I boost my attack. So yes, they have shielded there, but at this point my counter damage has taken them into minuscule, microscopic health. Now this is almost definitely a Focus Blast, which will take me out. There we go, but that's okay. I can mop up the little bit that's left on my Cress, and now I have 2 Grass Knots ready to fire at that Azu. They have a move too, and they must win CMP coming back in. But that's fine, they're not going to be able to take me out just with one hit. As I said, I've got those 2 loaded Grass Nuts, so at this point it is pretty much GG's. 1 Grass Knot does a good chunk, 1 more Psycho Cut to get to the second Grass Knot, and this should either KO or leave him with like a millimetre of health. Alright, a couple more Psycho Cuts, and we are down. GG's to my opponent. Game number 3 is versus Kayleigh07855. Or 885, spoon memory, I'm sorry. So picking up a super positive lead, they're switching to Azu, I'm desperately trying to switch to my Raichu, and sadly we get a little bit of lag. Now, I'm not running Thunder Punch because that would be too easy, so my only electric move on the charge is going to seriously debuff me. So I'm definitely going to be baiting with a Brick Break first. Now, in retrospect, this probably wasn't the best idea because they're not going to want to be shielding this Azu. They're probably just going to let it go down as it's in such a bad matchup anyway. So probably the play here would have just been to farm up here, and now I've got basically 2 wild charges to just throw on. Then I've got a wild charge for whatever comes in next. But I am determined. I'm going to Brick Break this thing down, resist it or not. So we go in with another Brick Break, but sadly they managed to get to a charge move. If we hadn't had that lag in the beginning and I'd been able to switch my Raichu in properly, we would have been able to take this thing out. I don't want to go down 2 shields, so I've got to let the Raichu go down. I'm going to come in with Scrafty, of course, to mop up because I know he's got a super positive matchup against that Abomasnow. So this will either force them to show what's in the back, or if what's in the back is somehow even weaker to Scrafty, we're going to see the Abomasnow back like we've got. So I'm just going to spam this thing with power-up punches. As you can see, my boosted counter is hitting for gross damage, but they're very smart and managed to catch the power-up punch on a Jellicent. Ghost resists fighting, so that's doing basically nothing. Now, I'm going to resist Shadow Ball. I won't resist Ice Beam or Bubble Beam if they throw them, but neither of them are super high power moves, and Ice Beam doesn't have stab, so I know I can take them. Now, they don't shield here. My thinking is their win con was probably if I baited and they called it. So they know that's probably their best chance of winning, so they've got to take that risk. Sadly for them, I was not baiting and I managed to take the game. Game 4 is versus Professor Morpheus. We're jumping in with our Scrafty and we're picking up a fairly positive lead here. Of course they're going to be resisting all my fighting moves, but Foul Play will hit for brilliant super effective damage. Now there is the catch that I expected, so now we're coming in with Raichu as a counter to their Azu. So this is, I would suspect, Ice Beam as it's so quick. I've got to shield up anyway though because Raichu is really, really glassy. Now, thank you again. For some reason, whenever I'm in the Raichu Azu matchup, we always get lag. Really not a fan of that. We're going to throw a Brick Break, see if we can get a shield, which we can. Feels bad, man. Now, again, I think what I should have done here, just like in the first matchup, is just throw in the Wild Charge and be done with it. But my stubborn ass wanted to keep throwing Brick Breaks. I don't know why, okay? I was vibing with Brick Break Raichu here. So this, of course, doesn't get a shield because they've been baited with that once. They are not going to want to have that happen again. We're going to throw yet another Brick Break. We're going in for that absolute chip damage, and we managed to take out the Azu. So this time, the Brick Breaks worked for me. The problem now is that Marowak is back and I do not have any shields. Would have been nice to get to a wild charge, but sadly we don't get there. And of course, Bone Club hits for super effective ground on electric. Did I forget what typing Raichu is there? What a sin. Okay, so this is not good. I have got a Reggie in the back, which of course I can hit for super effective with my fighting type moves, but I've also got Cresselia, and Cresselia doesn't really have that much play against either of the Pokemon. Now, I swapped Cress in there, hoping to catch a Focus Blast, because that's about the most useful thing Cress can do for me, and I managed to do it, which I'm really happy with. But of course, all of the moves on Cress are resisted by the Steel typing of this Reggie, and I'm Psychic, so that Ghost type Marowak is not going to be a good time for me. I'm expecting they're going to come in. Yeah, there's the Marowak. I'm just throwing Grass Knot, so I've at least got something to throw at it and try and take some health away from this thing. But it's doing absolutely nothing. Now all they've got to do is throw one Ghost type move, and that is it. Cress is out of here. There's the Shadow Bone. Oh, I survived it by a little bit, and I managed to get another Grass Knot off. Yes, I didn't think I did. I was pretty sure that one hit KO'd. Probably because it was Bone and not Shadow Ball. I think that would have KO'd. Okay, so now that Marowak got a ton of farm on me, which is just absolutely terrible. This is not what we wanted here. We're in a bit of a bind. That Reggie in the back is dry on energy though, which is the one good thing I've got to take from this. Now, I throw a Foul Play. Yes, we like that. Everybody like that. And that should hopefully take out the Marowak, which it does. And that leaves me with a Reggie, but it was not dry on energy. They had obviously double built up, so they'd got another Focus Blast ready to throw. Okay, let's jump into our fifth and final game. See if we can get some redemption after that loss we just took. So that is a terrible lead, not off to a good start. We'll swap in with Cress and lovely, we get an Umbreon. So double hard countered right out of the game. We're going to throw a Moonblast, which is the handy thing about running this on Cress. And normally Umbreon users are not going to shield because Umbreon is so tanky. It can take 2 Moonblasts, so there's no reason to shield the first move ever from a Cress. So we're not shielding either because we're just locked into a terrible matchup here. I'm going for a Grass Knot here as it's lower on energy, and I'm really hoping they're going to expend a shield this time around. They do. Fantastic. We love to see it. But they're already ready with another move. Umbreon is definitely spammier than I am. So to guarantee I can get to another move, I decide to throw up a shield there. I'm probably not going to get to a Moonblast yet, before they get to a Foul Play. That might have been CMP, but I don't think so because Umbreon wins CMP with nothing. So I feel like they'd got there just a second before I did. But that's okay, I tanked that one, took it on the chin, and we're now throwing a Moonblast. This takes that Umbreon down into the red, but unfortunately it does get some farm on me. But I don't mind too much because I'm just going to go in with my Raichu to get a bit of farm on this guy. Take one move to the chin. It's a last resort, which does not far off half, which sucks. Man, that sucks. But we've now got both of my moves built up on Raichu, ready for whoever comes in. We're going to throw Brick Break at this Surfetched. Have a look. Okay, and that pulls a shield. So now they are down on shields, and I'm desperately, yes! Desperately hoping I can get to Wild Charge, which I can, and this is definitely going to KO that Surfetched. Yes! Brick Break Raichu meta now? Okay, so this is a fantastic back line for me. Because they've got that Hypno in the back, and I've got Foul Play on my Scrafty, and they don't have any shields, this is going to look really good for me. Now, I only have one shield. I decide, right, I'm going to shield this because if that's Focus Blast, I'm dead. So we've got a shield. It is just Fire Punch, and we lag, delicious. Now, whether it was because of that lag or because that Hypno just outpaced me, I'm not sure, but they got to another move. We're praying. Thank you, it's just another punch, which we can easily take. That lets us get to another Foul Play, which will KO when it hits the Hypno. There we go. GG's to my opponents. So that's Brick Break Raichu in the Great League. I think he'd have been more effective with Thunder Punch, but where's the fun in that? If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a like, and don't forget to comment down below with your future suggestions for Spice videos. Only rule is, it's gotta be bad. If you enjoy PvP, then I am here for you twice a week with PvP videos. Twice a week is a minimum, by the way. If I have a slow week, it might be 3. So if that sounds like your kind of thing, please do subscribe. Now, I think that's everything. Oh yeah, Fight Club.